Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the front suspension slash the front struts on a 2001 Toyota Corolla. As you can see here, my replacement part, I'm replacing the strut and the spring. You can purchase the strut by itself, which is this inner piece here, and this whole part here. And then switch your stock spring or your current spring onto the new strut. However, it's not that much more expensive to just buy it already done, and it is a lot more work to swap the spring over. So I just purchased that. I'm going to show you how to swap this piece onto the driver's side. I'm going to end up doing both sides. However, I have a bit more lighting on this side. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to do is you need to loosen the lug nuts on the tire, because the tire needs to come off, so pop off the hubcap. And then you're going to use a 13/16 to loosen all four of these, and then you're going to need to jack up the side here. And you're going to need a jack stand because it's got to go all the way up to where the tire is off so you can pull it off. I personally like to jack on this, oh, there you go, this bolt point right here. And then I put a jack stand somewhere around here on the frame there to hold it up. So go ahead and do that, and then once you have the car jacked up, you can take the tire off and we can get started with the rest of it. With the tire off, as you can see I have it on a jack stand, the first thing you're going to do is remove the brake line from your suspension here, and it's a little 14 millimeter bolt. You go ahead and loosen that, and then this will pop off, and just move it out of the way so it doesn't get in the way with anything. By the way, now would be a good point to check your rotor, make sure there aren't any major gouges in it. Also check your brakes, make sure that there's plenty of meat left on there. So go ahead and remove that brake line first. So with that bolt off, I actually just put it on the new one, screwed it in to make sure that I don't lose it. The next thing, my book actually recommends that you mark along here. You can see I kind of did it with a gold Sharpie. So that you can put this back on in the same spot. That way the alignment and everything is correct and it doesn't get messed up once you reinstall the new strut. So once you mark that, these two bolts come out. They're both 19 millimeter on both sides, so you'll need a breaker bar because they're on there pretty tight. And then you can actually remove the bolts, but I would recommend potentially putting your jack or something and jacking on like right here. In order to support this whole apparatus. You don't want to jack on your brake rotor, so make sure it's further under on that bottom knuckle there instead of on the brake rotor. So go ahead and get those two bolts removed next. So with those two bolts out, if you have it supported, just make sure that it's loose within there. You could see it's loose within the strut there. So with those undone, the final step is to undo these three 12 millimeter bolts at the top here. So undo those, loosen them, and then basically you'll take two of them off, just leave one on but really loose, and then you'll support it from the bottom. And this may take two people, and you'll basically finagle this strut out from underneath with one hand here and just support it as you loosen it out and take the strut out. So go ahead and do that next. So the best way that I found to get the old strut out was I actually had to take the bottom and go to the right here, and then I was able to clear the top through here and then just kind of out sideways here, and then I was able to bring it out. Just be real careful with the brake line. You should have a rubber brake line here so it's easy to move, but you still don't want to crack it or bend it too much. And also, this isn't fully stable, this whole apparatus, so it can twist and move, and if you need it to, you can, but you don't want it to move too much because you don't want to overextend the boot and all of the gears in there. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it because the installation is just going to be the reverse of the removal. And I'll get back with you on if there's any tips or anything, and then I'll run through all of the torque specs on all of these. So go ahead and get that removed, and then start installing the new strut and suspension piece. So now that I almost have it finished installed, I just wanted to run through. I use the old nuts. They work on the replacement part that I bought, which, by the way, I'll include a link in the description on where I got it off of Amazon. I didn't use the nuts that it came with because they have the little locking thing at the top there, which I didn't really like. I want to be able to tighten these down really well. So let's run through the torques. So these are supposed to be torqued to 29 foot-pounds. And then these two down here are really tight at 203 foot-pounds. So just do the best you can on those. They need to be on really tight. And like I said, you can follow along. You can kind of see I got that lined up right, like it's supposed to. And then I couldn't find a torque for this. I don't know that it necessarily matters because it's just keeping the brake line in place, so it's not going everywhere and getting scraped up. So just tighten this one back to about what you had it at, or what tightness it was when you pulled it off. So anyways, once you're done, I would recommend replacing both sides. This is because usually when one side goes out, it puts a lot more wear and tear on the other side, so you probably end up replacing one and then have to replace the other. So I say just do them both at the same time. It's not too hard of a job. As I mentioned previously, the main thing about getting this in and out was that I took this part and kind of fit it through this area here to both get it in, and then I was able to clear the top part up through here and get it up in there. So anyways, that is how you remove and install a strut and suspension piece on a 2001 Toyota Corolla. So hopefully this was helpful, and thanks for watching.